Alright. Hello, anybody that is here. Welcome to whatever this is. This is a podcast. This is somebody talking on the internet. Some person on the internet. My name is Matthias, and this YouTube channel is called Ass Kickin' Chicken. And it is something that I've just started. It's not my first YouTube channel. I have made others, but this one has a fresh start, and I wanted a fresh start because I had a copyright strike on my last one, which I guess I could get into some detail about a little bit later. And considering it's actually a decent story, I'll probably talk about what had happened, and I'd filmed something, and I'm getting texts and Snapchats, because Snapchats are great, and that is what most 15-year-old people do, is they send Snapchat, they send streaks and stuff, and not everybody does it, not obviously, but it is something I do as a 15-year-old. I send out Snapchat streaks, and it is 9:30 at night, and it is that time when people are going to start sending streaks because they're maybe home and they're having something to eat or something. It is a school night tonight, so people are going to be going to bed about 10:15 to 30. So, time to start sending streaks, and I'm not going to yet. But it is something I do, and so, yeah, welcome. The way I started it, you'd think, well, maybe you wouldn't, but the way I sounded to myself is as if like I've already done this, and I haven't. I've done a test for a minute, and maybe that 1 minute of just me talking, not like I knew it was going to be a test, and I said it was a test right at the beginning, but maybe that 1 minute makes me feel like I've introduced myself already. So no, I said my name, I said the channel name, I said this is a podcast or whatever it is, just me talking on the internet, posting it up to YouTube's. Not even monetized, because frankly, I'm not gonna make money if it gets monetized. I'm not gonna make money for like 5 views, because 5 views, out of those 5 views, if it's monetized, it might get 1 ad, not even, because it's a brand new channel, 0 subscribers, and no views, and really no reason for people to find it at all. That being said, if for whatever crazy reason I do get a couple views on this, I'm not going to say I'm not going to monetize it, because money's great. But I don't really know how YouTube money works yet. Hopefully I'll have to learn, because hopefully I'll be in the position where I can make money off of it. And that sounds really greedy, I know. But money is what makes the world go round. And if you don't have money, then you're pretty well screwed. I don't know where to go from here, and I could start talking about why money is like the most important thing ever, but not really. But like, everybody needs money. Everybody needs money. It's like I said, if you don't have money, you're pretty much screwed. But if you don't have much money, it doesn't mean you're not screwed. If you don't have money, it doesn't mean you are screwed. It just means that I feel like that was kind of like, I don't know. My opinion is a little bit like, there's different views that you can have. And my opinion is money equals good. Like money means that you're going to be able to support yourself. If you've got a good amount of money, if you've got a good steady income, it means you're going to be able to support yourself. It means you're going to be able to pay your bills and have a car, and if occasional problems arise, you'll be able to deal with them because of your money. But having too much money is not good, because, yeah, you can donate a good chunk of it to what you need, or you can spend a lot of it on materialistic things that really don't do much. If you've got a Lamborghini, great. If you got 47 Lamborghinis and so many bookcases, like 500 bookcases and 47 Lamborghinis, you're living up in those Hollywood hills with Tai Lopez. It's great. Great. Good for you. I mean, you're not going to drive all 47 of those Lamborghinis at once, obviously, and then maybe you go out once or twice, or maybe more than once or twice. Maybe you go out a couple times a day, and each time you take one of your Lamborghinis. Say you go out 3 times a day, and each time you take a different Lamborghini. That's going to take you at least, that'll take you like, wow, I feel really stupid that my math is not that good. It'll take you 6, almost 7 weeks. Yeah, wow, wait, what, right? To drive all those Lamborghinis. No, that can't be right. That doesn't sound right in my head. Okay, so let's do this out in math. Let's do the math out loud instead of in my head, where I'm not able to calculate because it's 9:39 at night and I've had a long day. So, 3 a day, you've got 47. So 3 a day for 1 week is 21. That didn't sound right. Yeah. So 1 week is 21, 2 weeks is 42. So it's going to take you a week and a couple days to drive all 47 of those Lamborghinis, assuming you're going 3 times a day and only 3 times a day, and you're taking a different one each time. Yeah, 6, what did I say, 6 weeks? 6, almost 7 weeks? Yeah, God no. I was thinking just 1 a day. But if you only took 1 Lamborghini a day, then it would be 6 closer to 7 weeks. But no, if you're taking 3 a day, then it's 2 weeks and a little bit. Yeah. Alright, well, interesting introduction to the podcast. I don't know what I'm going to call this podcast. I'm just going to call it Ass Kickin' Podcast, the Kickin' Chicken Podcast. I don't know. Kickin' Chicken Podcast. Doesn't sound bad. Obviously, well, maybe not, I guess. On the title, it could be just podcast number 1, and then, I don't know. If I were a channel that had a decent following, I might ask what you guys want it to be called. But considering this is probably going to get 3 views total, all by me showing it to my friends eventually within like the next year and a half, I don't think I should do that. I don't think I should leave or start up like a quick poll on Twitter or something like that. I don't think I should do that because nobody would see it and it would be pointless. So I'm going to probably call it the Kickin' Chicken Podcast. So, because I'm the greatest at transitions, and I'm going to go and remember something I said earlier, and that is I've got a copyright strike on my other channel. Now, this other channel is called King Venom. I'm not advertising you to go and subscribe to that. I'm not going to be uploading anything else on that channel because we've started anew, and if I want YouTube to go somewhere, which I really don't know if I do or if I don't, I need to not have copyright strikes, because copyright strikes, they can come back to haunt you if you start to get big. So, what did that? And this is actually a cool story, but it's cool as in, I don't know, it's just interesting and intriguing and a little bit scary when it actually happened to me. Not the physical getting the copyright strike, but for the video that I got the copyright strike on. Should probably clarify that. So, first off, so I know I said it earlier, I'm 15. I by no means live by myself. I've got parents and I've got a brother. So this happened earlier in the year. I think it was April, maybe May. Either way, I know my brother was at baseball and my dad was coaching him and my mom was also there watching. And I was not because I had things to do, probably not. I don't know, I just didn't want to go. It is what it is. So I didn't have anything for supper, so I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just going to go bike over to Subway because there's a Subway in my community. On the other end of it, I'm going to go bike over to Subway. Now, the Subway's in, like, a pretty good-sized complex, just like a building complex. Maybe not a complex. It's like a plaza. There we go. That's the word. So there's a Sobeys, there's a pub, there's a spa, it's a spa. There's pizza place, Indian food, Chinese food, Japanese food, coffee shop, like a plaza. And there's a Subway. And, I should also mention there's a gas station too, because that's kind of important to the story, for reasons you will find out later. There's a gas station, and it's near the Subway. So, go into the Subway, or bike over there, like lock up my bike as normal, drive past the gas station, everything seems to be fine. I mean, not that I was paying close attention, I was like, ooh, I feel like there's something that's fine over here, well, that came out wrong. Never mind. That came out not how I meant it to sound, so it's like, not that I was looking for things that were gonna be bad. I said the wrong word. So, went in Subway, ordered my sub, got it customized, and got the sub, got the order, paid for it and all. Went over, go sit down by the window, eat my sub real quick, look out the window, and there I saw something that at first I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I know the suspense must be killing you. And you guys are going to hate me for rambling on about this. No, I saw three cop cars actually. 3 cop cars, flashing lights, and a lone truck. No, maybe not I'm trying to remember it 'cause it was a couple months ago now. No, it was there was a truck, it was a pickup truck, it was a brown pickup truck, and I couldn't see inside of it because there was cars driving right next to the Subway in between us and the gas station. And so underneath the big, like, I don't know what that's called, like the big stand or the roof, underneath the roof that goes over top of where the gas pumps are, we had 3 or 4 cop cars, and then in the parking spaces just out in front of the convenience store, there was a truck, and I couldn't see inside the truck, but I looked back over at the cop cars, and there were just about 4 or 5 cops, and the one cop was holding a shotgun. Now, I live in Canada, and if you see a cop with a shotgun, you know something is going down, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, why is there a cop with a shotgun? Then I look about 3, well, not 3 feet, but probably about 10 feet behind him, and probably closer towards me. There's a cop with a rifle. I don't know what type of rifle. I don't know, I'm assuming it was, actually, I have no idea. All I know is it was an assault rifle type gun. So, this really freaked me out. I was like, oh god, what is going on? Am I safe here in the Subway that's just across a little, not alleyway, but slightly bigger than an alleyway street that is just a connector to get from the main road into the plaza? And I was like, am I safe here? Is there a bomb threat or anything like that? Do I need to be leaving the area? Do I need to be taking shelter or something? Because the entire wall of that Subway is all windows, so there was lots of broken glass, and I was sitting right next to this big glass wall, and looking out there, just staring at it blankly. I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, okay. And then I thought, hey, I should record this. And so, pull out my phone and just start recording video of the situation. And during this time, in the video, you can see, well, I don't know, the video is weird. The video, I think, is actually still viewable, so after I'm done talking, if you want to go watch it over on the other channel, I might link it or something like that, I don't know. If you want to go watch it, you can, and maybe, I don't know if the strike is still up, or something like that, or if it's been fixed or whatever, because I know it wasn't viewable, and now I viewed it, like, earlier today, because I was setting up the new channel, and, yeah, I had to go to the old channel just to check things out, just because, yeah, so, yeah, the video might still be viewable, but during the time in which I got out my phone, the cops had, I don't know, maybe, I think some guy came out of the truck, and approached the cops slowly, and the cops had arrested him, and he was on the ground with handcuffs on, and he was, yeah, and the cop with the shotgun still pointing it high, and I was like, okay, well, it clearly has something to do with the truck in my head, and, yeah, it was a time and a half. Now, as you can probably assume, recording police making an arrest without blurring anything, yeah, that's not really gonna fly. And so yeah, it is up, but and it did get copyrighted. Now the thing that was like really like what is going on here is it got copyrighted for having the song. What was this song? I can't remember the song. It had like a Billy Joel song, I think it was. Billy Joel, maybe it wasn't, maybe, I don't know, it had a song in it, as I do air quotes, it had a song in it, and it was no song, there was no songs in the video, and it got copyrighted for that, and so, basically, what it did, is like, when I posted it, it was up for about 20 seconds as my phone goes off, and guess what, more Snapchat streaks. So it was probably up for about 20 seconds, and refreshed the page just to make sure everything was working. Went to the actual video, just not signed in. Sorry, this content has been flagged or copyrighted by whoever it was. It wasn't, I can't even remember because it really isn't overly important to me, but it's a cool story, so that's why I'm telling it. It had been copyrighted for having, I want to say it was like rain or something like that. Actually, I can probably look it up right now on my phone. The powerful uses of technology. Yeah, here, I'm actually going to search it up right now. So, what you want to do, well, you want to go to the account, the channel name is King Venom, King, no space, of Venom, Venom, and it's got a picture of, well, the profile is, it's kind of like, it's bluish, it's a Panzer from Call of Duty Zombies, a regular zombie, and two Los Angeles Kings, Stanley Cup champion banners. And the video is pretty, well, easy to view, easily recognizable, but the video, yeah, it's actually playing right now, and yes, so, yeah, what it got copyrighted for is the music, the song Piano Man. Radio edit by Billy Joel was apparently playing sometime in the video. It definitely was not. You guys can go watch it, because for whatever reason, the links to that song are in the description, despite the fact that I have not at any point added them to the description. If you guys want to know what that song is, I'm not going to play it. I was about to, but I'm not going to because I could get copyrighted. I just realized that. Well, either way, so I'm actually going to partially watch this and talk it out and narrate it. So, the video, it comes in, it's vertical video, which kind of sucks, but what was it going to do? So yeah, it's, when the video comes on, there's one cop with a pistol, and there's another cop behind him with a shotgun, and he's making an arrest. And they're standing, and they're taking cover behind their cop cars, and they arrest the one dude who's already on the ground. He's got handcuffs on, and they take him to the back and throw him in the back of the police car. Now, there are a bunch of cars that are driving in between us, and I'm more focused on what's actually happening, and I'm viewing it with my own eyes rather than the camera, because obviously that's what happens. So, camera's not great, including the fact that it's vertical video. So there's two cop cars, and one cop, he's got an AR and a sight on that thing. I don't know if it's like automatic or semi-automatic. And you can actually, a truck parked right in front of the entire thing, but I could see through the back of the truck's windshield them arresting another dude, and I'm watching it right now. So I had zoomed in on that, and then they brought him back to the cop car, one of the cop cars again, and they had him over the back of the hood with a cop behind him. Now they still had a cop with a shotgun and an AR. Now at this point, the one guy with a shotgun started moving up a little bit, and again, I can't entirely remember this. I'm viewing things, and at this point, when I had finally started recording, most of what had gone down had already gone down. Like, the big thing was getting the guy to come out of the truck and surrendering. And I can't remember if there was another dude in the truck still, but they did go up and search the truck. That I remember distinctly, because it was like, they pulled something out of the truck. They pulled like a bag of stuff out of the truck, and that was like, whoa. Oh, okay. So, in the video right now, they're all lining up behind a cop car, or like beside a cop car. There's three of them, and at this point, there's a blue truck that pulls right in front of us, and I can't see a thing. All I can see is the flashing lights of the cop car. So yeah, I'm trying to narrate things when nothing's happening. So they're just standing there at this point, okay, and a cop comes around from like back behind, and the workers of the convenience store, they come out the back exit, and they actually come near us at the subway. And I'm kind of doing a little bit of a narration while this is going on. I'm just like, just to the video, it's like, people know what's happening. Okay, yeah, so while the convenience store workers came out, they went and they approached up to the truck, and they had pulled something out, and they had taken it to the cop car. And I don't think you can see that in the video, because I remember looking over. Oh, no, maybe he's taking it right now. No, never mind. Oh, the one cop's inspecting his gun. Either way, very frightening, but cool times for me. When you're like put in a state of danger, it releases a bunch of chemicals in your brain, and it's like you're ready to go. It's adrenaline, and it's like your palms get sweaty because you know you might have to do something, and it's cool. It's like the nervous energy is like, oh God, I don't want this to I don't want to die. I don't want things like this to happen. And it's cool when you feel it, even though you're like super nervous when you do feel it. I don't know. That's just how I feel. So I don't really know what else I want to talk about here. I've got a list of stuff. I've got a couple things that would be good to talk about. However, we've got one idea on here that I'm not even going to bring up now because I don't want to spark anything, and I'm definitely not going to bring it up in the first podcast. Not going to ease my way into things, but that's just the idea that I've got down there. Not something you bring up in the first episode of a podcast. Not a great idea. Okay, here's something that actually could work. And yeah, this is something. So I just started high school. In Canada, where I live, high school starts grade 10. So technically sophomore for you American people that are probably not listening to this, but maybe in the future, if I ever do get successful, which I highly doubt. I'll be happy if I get, well, at this point, even 50 subscribers, because then it's like, I know it's, 50 is still, no, I'm not that popular. 50 would be people that are just discovering me for the outside. Because on my other channel, I've got like 20 subscribers, but I know at least like 15 of them are my friends, and then I've got 2 other like channels that are subscribed to me as well, so it's like 3 other people, at least. 50, yeah. So, 50 subscribers would be a great start for me. 5 subscribers would be a great start. Because I'm not going to promote this channel like it was like did at my old with my old channel. Because I was just like, hey, did you see my latest video that I put out? It was like, what? Oh, you've got a YouTube channel? It's like, yeah, I've told you this like every video. And it was like, oh. Yeah, well, not like that, not just like self-promotions and everything like that, but I made it known that I had a YouTube channel. I made it known to a couple different people, and by a couple I mean about a dozen people. Who then told some other people. And, so, like I said, going into high school. Now, one of the great things about my high school, or my experience going into high school, but let me mention this first off the bat. So, I'm midway through my 3rd week at high school, so still transitioning into it. And this week is our spirit week at our high school, where we're supposed to be fully integrated into the society of my high school. And I'm not going to name my high school because that is just not something I'm going to do. Almost did, but I'm not going to. So, like I said, we're completing our integration into society, dropping those social studies words in on you. So I'm still transitioning into it. I don't entirely know what I'm doing. But I was having a conversation with my friend, and she, yes, it was a girl, she was really overwhelmed with just all of high school and getting lots of homework now, being in grade 10, being an AP, because I'm smart, I'm a nerd. You guys should never ever want to hang out with me. No, please do. No. But she was getting really overwhelmed, and there were about 5 or 6 people. No, not 4 or 5 people. I'll say 4 or 5, just because 5 or 6 seems like I'm exaggerating a little bit. But it was probably somewhere around 4 or 5 people that had also said they were getting overwhelmed with just the experiences of high school, and I was getting a little overwhelmed too. But I listened to a podcast, and I just got a notification. I was listening to a podcast a little bit before high school by a man named The Smith Plays. You may have heard of him if you are in the gaming community. Maybe not entirely just the gaming community, but if you are in the Call of Duty community, more specifically the zombies community. Because he is a man that has over 1 million subscribers and over 1.15 million subscribers. I think he's at 1.2 right now, actually. And I can check that while I continue talking. But I was listening to a podcast that he did, and Oh my god. What the hell? Oh, never mind. Sorry, YouTube, the video was like vertical video, but it was like full screen. Yeah, so the Smith Plays, by the way, he has 1,286,952 subscribers at the moment in which I said this, and it's probably gone up, and hopefully it's gone up since then, since like 2 seconds ago, because great guy, and I really like Pat's content that he puts out, and I call him Pat, even though I don't know him whatsoever, but I'd like to meet him, being 15 and he's being 20, I think he is. I don't know. Either way, I was listening to a podcast, and it was episode 63, and it wasn't the first time that I had listened to the podcast, but it had been a while since I had heard his podcast, and especially this one. And going into high school, this podcast is called, I don't know its exact name, but it's High School and University Advice. So, going into high school, I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to listen to this. So, in it he states that 99% of all of the adults that you have ever met have gone through high school and made it out fine. And I think he says, well, maybe not fine, but they've made it out and continued with their life. And I don't know if that's if that's quoting him exactly, but another Snapchat. I don't even know if you guys can hear the notification. If you can't, then that's just going to sound really weird, because I'm just going to be talking, and then it's just going to be, he made it out fine. Another Snapchat. No. Sorry if you can't hear that, but hopefully you can. That way you can understand my quick interruption and saying that. But either way, so yeah, 99% of most of the adults that you've ever met have made it out of high school fine. They've gone through it, they've done all of it, they've graduated, and made it out fine. And I thought, wow, that is very true. Like, pretty much everybody in society, every person in the world has to do this. There are obviously exceptions. If you are going to drop out, that's on you, and you're not exactly setting yourself up for a successful career. Like I said earlier, money gives you security, and money means you're gonna be decent. And if you don't have a high school diploma, it's not exactly gonna be easy for you to make a good amount of money. That's just that. So, yeah, he said this, and this got me thinking, yeah, everybody's done this. Every single person. Don't know if you could hear that. I'm getting texts, and, yeah, 1 second, everybody. Alright, I know it doesn't matter for you, because the recording's just picking up, but I am back, and it's been a couple minutes, and, yeah, so I had to just talk with someone. I might actually have to go again, because I can't exactly multitask, and multitasking is an interesting concept, and I'll talk about that maybe a little bit later in this podcast, or maybe in a future podcast. I'll get to that. But what was I saying? I was saying, like, high school is, like, everybody's gone through high school, and I think that's all I said, so everybody had to go through that. And it's like, well, if they can do it, so can I guess. Now, not all cases is that true, but in this case especially, definitely true. Everybody can do that. But at the same time, it's like, well, yes, everybody's doing that, and that's what's normal and stuff, but then that's where people start to break off. It's like, are you going to go to university, or are you going to not go to university? It's like, I don't know what I want to do with my future. And that's a good part of the reason as to why I'm starting something on YouTube. I'm putting something out there is because I don't want to just live a routine-based life, a 9 to 5, come home and do that. I don't want to live a realistic life, if that's the right word. I don't really want to. Every day, like when I go to bed, I'm thinking the same thing, or maybe not the same thing, but it's like, wow, that day went by like just the same as the last couple days. Just do this, then go here, then do this, then come back and do that. It's just repetitive, super repetitive. And I feel like that's like, it is 5 days a week, but I feel like that's 5 days a week times 53 once you're an adult and you don't get summers off. And this is just like the third week of high school, and I'm already starting to get stuck in a rut of just wake up, have a shower, get dressed, go to the bus stop, get on the bus, wait to get to the school, go to class, go for other class, go have lunch, so on and so forth. And it's like, the thought is once we get through school, yay, we're done with all this menial stuff. No. Once you get a job, it's like, get up, go to work, go to a meeting, stress out about not hitting your deadlines and stuff. And obviously it depends on what job you get, but if you're like an accountant for some company, it's gonna be like that. And I mean, I've got nothing against accountants. I like accounting. I've got a financial management class, and it's fun. It's really easy for me, but it's fun. I'm done 30 minutes early, like every class, because I get it and I like doing it. And I've got nothing against people that do it. But I don't think I'd be able to do that every day for 50 years. Maybe not 50 years, but get a job at like go to college or university till you're like, till you're 25 at max. Maybe it takes you a little bit to get a job. Say you're 26 by the time you get a job. You're working probably until you're 55. Not 55, like 65. Say 60. Say 60, 65. That's 35 years. 35, 40 years. Yeah, you're working for a while. I don't think I'd be able to do that for that long. I don't think I'd be able to just do that for that long. And that's like the same with any job. Because then it's just routine. And it's not like a bad thing that people get into a routine. I don't want to be in a routine, because routines are like, they're boring. They don't have any excitement in them. And it's just repeat your life, and it passes you by. And it's like, by the time it's like, when I'm working those 40 years, and just passing me by, it's like, okay, this is looking forward for the future, and looking forward for the future. Great, I'm here, I've got all my money, but now I'm a senior, and I'm getting old, and maybe I've got a health problem, and I'm getting old anyway, so my body can't do as much as when I was 30 or whatever. And now I can't do what I wanted to do. Now I can't, go be physical with my kids because they've already grown up. Or be physical. Wow, that came off really wrong. Go play with my kids out on, a beach in Cabo or something like that. I can't go do that. But with that said, if we don't participate in societies like how you get money, then you're not going to have money, and it sucks. Because unless you're finding other opportunities like YouTube or this, or starting a business, or being a professional athlete where you don't have to do, well, even then you have to do the same thing every day, but it's different because it's different. I mean, in the end, a job's a job, and if you're doing the same thing for that long, it's but if you're a professional athlete, you're only playing until, well, if you're in the NHL, you're playing until you're 45 max, and even then that's stretching, and most people, I think the average retirement age is probably 38, 37, 38, something like that, but you're making millions of dollars. If you're in the NHL, your entry-level contract means that over the 3 years, you're guaranteed to make $1.5 million because the minimum yearly amount that you can get is 5.1 million, I think, or 5.1 million. No, 500,000 a year, 510,000 or something like that, 100,000 a year, and you get your entry-level contract for 3 years. So you're guaranteed, if you get drafted and you get signed, you're making over $1 million off the bat. So I think that's a little bit of a different situation than if you're an accountant and you're going to have to work, if you're making $60K a year, if you're going to have to work like 40 years to make over $1 million, and you'll never have like over $1 million because you still have to pay all your expenses of a house and all that stuff anyways. And I'm getting texts again, and I'm just going to pause right here, and I'm going to pause my recording because I'm actually recording on my iPod because it has voice recorders which I can then use to plug into my laptop, and I've got an Apple earbud headset with a mic on it, and I'm working at the lowest budget, but I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Not that you can tell any difference, but yeah, so I was saying accounting, and not accounting, but like if you're playing in the NFL, you're making at least $1 million if you get signed. And if you're an accountant making $60K a year, you're gonna have to work for 40 years to like maybe have $1 million. Even then, $1 million, it's not that much. When you think about it, $1 million isn't really that much. It's just, my dad, he's a teacher, and that being said, he's like tenured, and he's like on the admin team, but I think he makes $90K a year before taxes. So $90K a year before taxes. So let's say he makes $80K a year or something like that, and I think that's what he makes. I'm not 100% sure, but like, let's say he makes $80K a year for himself, for like that he can take home and give to our family. That right there, that's not that long. That's like 20 years max probably for $1 million, assuming we're not spending anything. But even if my family could live off the income that my mom makes and just save all of that, it's still going to be like 20 years and for us to become millionaires. But yeah, again, I don't know if he gets $80,000 a year. I know he gets like $90K, but that's before taxes and anything that the school has to do because he's a teacher and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. I just remember asking him one time, and he says, before anything, I make $90K a year or something like that. Around $90K a year, but for taxes, like I said. So what was I saying? So I don't really want to get stuck in a routine of life. I really don't. That's a big reason as to why I'm doing a podcast right here, because maybe after however long of a podcast, however long it works, maybe at that point, maybe some point, YouTube starts to grow for me. And maybe I can make money off of it. And maybe something will happen. And maybe I don't have to go into society and be like, I'm just like everybody else. I need money, so I'm going to become an accountant or whatever you want to be, and I'm going to make money like that. Because I don't really want to do that. There are some jobs that I think would be cool. Stockbroker's one of them, but that's because you make lots of money, and it's like I don't have to necessarily work as long, but Or if I do work as long, I'm making like probably 20 times the money. Just because stockbrokers make a lot if they're successful, which you'd have to be, obviously. Yeah. Actually, how much do stockbrokers make a year? Google is your friend, everybody. Google is your friend. And how much do stockbrokers make a year? I'm imagining like Wolf of Wall Street numbers like 49K a year, which probably, or 49 million a year, which probably definitely not true. I'm assuming it's like maybe, if you're really good at your job, like 3 million a year, but I don't know. How much money do stock brokers, I didn't put in a space, stockbrokers make a year? According to the BLS in May 2011, all securities, commodities, and financial services sales agents earned an average salary of $98,810 a year, or $47.50 per hour. The middle 50% of this group earned between $41,940 and $132,040 a year. And the median salary was $72,060. Wow. Not exactly the amount that I was expecting. However, that's not necessarily Wall Street. How much do Wall Streeters really earn? Forbes.com. Websites, continued article. We all know much Wall Street kingpins like Jamie Dimon make from his job running JP Morgan. If you didn't, it's around 11 million. That's after taking pay cut from his former total salary of 23 million. But Wall Street is more than just the A-list of the bulge bracket, yada yada. So what are these guys really wearing? Most of them. We asked their members over. No, never mind. Trading hedge fund. Total of 41% of them when we're working in Wall Street. Okay. Can you just say started collecting data? There's a number of these. Here's a glimpse of those pay scales. You're gonna get to it. From over 70 firms, they got responses, and the average total pay base, summer interns and associates, you're getting for a summer internship. You're getting $71,300, plus or minus $9,000. For your first year as a full-fledged stockbroker or whatever it is that it's $85,000 a year. And by your third year, you're making $111,000, plus or minus $50,000. That's just an analyst. If your first year as an associate, you're making $120,000, plus or minus $39,000. Third year as associates, they're making $150,000, plus or minus $60,000. Now, if you can work yourself up to this, if you become a vice president, you're making $255,700. Plus, it doesn't even say minus in this one, plus $116,800. Now, if you get to the real big boy, the managing director, it's a nice solid $273,000 right there. That's yearly. That's pretty good. And I mean, at that point, if you're making even if you're just like a first-year analyst, at the minimum, $80,000 a year. That's still good, and you're working your way up, and you're making more money yearly. And by the time you're third year, you're making over $100,000. So it's gonna take you like 6 or 7 years to become a millionaire without spending anything. Now, obviously, you're gonna need to spend stuff because that's just how you have to do things. You have to spend money in this world, because if you don't, then, well, you're not going to have a house, you're not going to have food, you're not going to have shelter or anything like that, you're not going to have water, you're not going to have any means of entertainment or anything like that. Money is there to be spent, but it's also there to be saved. And I think knowing how to invest, and like that's not even like, being a stockbroker, it's like great, but it's a lot of luck based, but it's like, I want to know how to invest. I want to like take a couple courses on like how, like maybe a couple steps into becoming a stockbroker, and even then if I don't like end up becoming a stockbroker, it's like at least I know how to invest good, like to the point where it's like if I don't, maybe I can like try my luck on the stock market for myself. Can't speak. I was originally like trying to mock myself because I said stark brokerate or something like that. No, I mean the stock market. Yeah, but I think knowing how to invest, and knowing how to invest and actually like investing well is like completely different, because again, it's a lot of, well, I don't know what makes stocks go up or down. I think it's like if they're selling and they're going up, obviously, in price or whatever it is, because supply and demand. And I don't know how much that really affects the stock market. And if there's anybody listening to this some point, or maybe even me in the future listening to this thinking, oh my God, you're an idiot. How could you think that supply and demand affects this? I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm interested by it because, I don't know, I'm fascinated by money, and I would like to have money. And I started off this podcast, first couple minutes, saying money. If you have money, you feel secure. And security, it's just... It's money. Money is its own topic. Could probably be discussed in hours and hours and hours and hours of length to discuss it and everything that it brings to the table and takes off the table. Because, yeah. Well, I'm at 52 minutes and 45 seconds right now. I think this has been a successful first podcast. This will probably be up. I don't know when I want to post these things. I don't really know. I'm not going to have a set schedule. I'm probably not going to do daily uploads just because I don't have the time. But maybe I'll do every 2 days or every 3 days. Maybe I'll try to do every 3 days. Maybe. I'm not going to commit to anything, because if I say I'm going to do it every 3 days, then it's like, okay, I have to go do it every 3 days. And I mean, as much as I want to, I don't know if I'll be able to, because homework is great. I love homework. Hockey's going to start up soon. The typical Canadian that I am, hockey's going to be really important to me. Not even that I'm like playing like really competitive hockey. I mean, I'm playing rec for Christ's sake. So, yeah. But welcome to the channel, I guess. Welcome to Ask Kickin' Chicken, or the Kickin' Chicken podcast, or I don't know, whatever it's called. Thank you for listening. If you've stayed all the way through, let me know, because I want to know if people are actually going to listen to this. And if you are listening to it, because all I see when I see views is I see somebody's clicked onto the video. That's all views are. It's just how many people click onto the video, not how many people stay to the end. So if you're still here to the end, leave a comment, feedback, what I could improve on. Or if this podcast thing is just not for you, my plan is is to be posting some content of game clips I've recorded on my Xbox One, because there's amazing things on the Xbox One. When you double tap the Xbox home button, it'll bring up an option where you can record the last 30 to 45 seconds of gameplay, and then you can replay that and record that later for use on YouTube. And I want to mention, it would be done with a camera of a phone, because I do not have an Elgato, and nor am I getting an Elgato, unless I just completely blow up for whatever reason, and I need an Elgato very, very badly, because if I don't get it, Elgatos are, I don't know. I'm not gonna say things that probably never gonna happen, because, Either way, I think it was a good start to the podcast. The podcast. This is the podcast. No, this is just a podcast done by some random 15-year-old that has not posted a video onto this channel on YouTube. I have posted videos onto YouTube, but not onto this channel before, which means this must be the first video that I upload. Yes. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And, I'll see you. Well, no, I won't see you. But you'll hear me. That doesn't sound right. You'll hear me in the next one. I was like, yeah, it sounds great. I don't get that why people say I'll see you in the next one. It's like, you'll not see people, because you're not going to see however many people are subscribed to you. You're not going to see, well, no, you're going to see the number, but you're not going to see the individual people. Whatever. I don't know how to end it if you just don't say, see you in the next one. It's like, I'll talk to you all later. That's kind of what it is. Whatever. That's the end. Peace out, people.